A 74-year-old white supremacist from North Dakota would spend 2 years in prison for assaulting 2 black girls in his neighborhood. They say although the senior citizen has pleaded guilty to the crimes against the minors, the prosecution states that he still shifts blame to the victims. That doesn't sound far-fetched at all, because nothing they do, they take responsibility for, these white supremacists. Now, it said Larry Wayne Balder, it said a resident of Fargo, would be incarcerated 24 months after attacking his neighbor's children on September 21, 2021. It said the judge, Susan Bailey, accepted the prosecution's recommendation that he be sentenced to 2 years. It said he previously pled guilty to aggravated assault, a Class C felony, and simple assault, a misdemeanor, of an 11-year-old girl, it said, and her sister. Now, it said the sentencing, it said hearing, it said it took place on Monday, April the 3rd. It said the prosecutor, Joshua Tracer, argued that the defendant allowed his emotions to override his good sense during the attack, fueled by rage. It said he slapped the girls and choked one. It said according to a criminal complaint, Baldner said a white man came home and found an 11-year-old black girl and 4 boys playing basketball in the driveway of a duplex. It said he shares with the girl's family. So he ordered the kids to get off the property. He says they refused. The 11-year-old girl argued that she and her friends were playing on her family's side of the property and believed they had a right to play in the area. So she told Baldner, he said, to get out of her face. He slapped her. The young girl went to get her older sister. That's when they returned shortly to confront this white supremacist about the slap. They say, and he reportedly grabbed the 11-year-old, say, by the neck and hair. Say, with her in his grip, he lifted the girl off the ground until her sister hit him in the face. This allowed the victim to break free from his grasp. It said, but he did not stop his violent behavior. He redirected his attention to the sister and slapped her across the face. They say, according to police reports, witnesses say that throughout the altercation, a much older white man hurled racial epithets at the girls. That's why we call them white supremacists. It said at the incident, it said the Fargo Police Department released the third quarter hate crimes report, which included the incident between Baldner and the girls. Now, why wasn't he charged with a hate crime? That's what I want to know. When you are using racial epithets in the middle of committing a crime, that is a hate crime at that point, right? Now, they say the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office are currently reviewing the case for prosecution under federal hate crime statutes. Okay, because, you know, anytime somebody do something to you that's a hate crime, you think it's a hate crime, you're supposed to report it to the local police and report it to the FBI, because the FBI and the U.S. Attorney, they investigate and prosecute hate crimes. Let's say during a hearing regarding this case, the prosecution argued that Baldner should have known better considering his age and size. It said Baldner unnecessarily belittled the children by using racial epithets at the time of the attack. He said the prosecutor also said that it said a significant term of incarceration necessary to hold Baldner accountable and to send a message that in the court and in the community takes racialized violence seriously. I really hope he gets charged on federal crimes, because that would actually sentence him a lot longer in jail than the state charge, right? Now, they said that his defense attorney said her client should be sentenced to time served of 3 days and 90 days of house arrest with electronic monitoring for the felony and misdemeanor charges. And she claimed that Baldner was acting in self-defense. It was not self-defense, not whatsoever, because those children weren't doing him anything. That is a freaking lie. And I say she noted that client's account of the day's events was supported by one of the boys who said the 11-year-old girl pushed him and that the other kids attacked Baldner. But you know what? Even if that was the case, you're a grown man. You don't go out there and confront no children. If you say, hey, where your parents at? Where they at, right? But when it comes to these white supremacists, they're going to try to hit a soft target. A child is a soft target. An elderly person is a soft target, right? Because you go good and well, there were some brothers out there. He wouldn't went out there at all. Now, this guy claims he didn't use a racist language. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He used it. And that's just really what it is. Now, he going to go sit in jail for 2 years. That's good. He don't need to be out on good behavior. And I hope the federal charges come on him and he go through a federal trial, because he needs to. Because these white supremacists, I told y'all, they need to be held accountable every step of the way. But let me know what y'all think about, this white supremacist here going to jail for 2 years. Some people may say that's not enough. I agree with you 100%. It's not enough. But I will say this much. Let's hope the federal charges get put on him and he'll be sitting in jail a whole lot longer.